story
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Google?
So, I mean, you guys asked like what we want to talk about, and like something that we ran into this week is I have this guy who I did a free interview with. It was really, really great. And then I mentioned to him like, yeah, we actually do this for clients. Like we'll interview people for their content. And he was like really interested in it, but he asked like, do you guys do everything? Like do you like handle all the posting and everything? And I was like, we can. And honestly, that's something that we've been kind of leaning more towards over the last few months because we're realizing that like if we have a client that we like do all this work for, like we like research their industry, we do the interview, and then we just like leave it up to them to actually post the shit, we're kind of like
At
we're shooting
Mercy?
ourselves in the foot a little bit.
Yeah.
Um and so we met with this guy. We kind of got a sense of like what he wants to do, and he basically wants somebody to like just entirely handle his short form content because he's like a YouTuber. He's got his system down for like creating long forms, but he's like, I want somebody who will just like completely handle all my short form across YouTube. He wants to branch into Instagram and like tap into a new audience there. So he wants more than just like what we've kind of started focusing on. Like he would want more than just like an interview every month or so. Like he'd want, probably the interview. He'd want somebody to like probably rake through his existing content, like the lives he does in his community and like maybe some of the long forms. He wants the person to like handle all the posting. He somehow got banned from ever having a business account on Instagram, so you can't
Hmm.
schedule posts there. You would have to manually post. So just like as we were talking with him and as we came off the meeting, we were like, okay, so it's an interesting situation to be in when there's somebody who like could become a really big client, but they want more than what you typically provide. And
Hmm.
then you're kind of in a situation where you're like, okay, so
How do I charge?
yeah, how do I charge? Because like it's beyond our scope of what we typically offer. But I mean, if it's a client that you see like, well, this guy's already kind of crushing it and there could be a lot of like growth potential here, then like it's an interesting situation to be in. Like not only for like what we charge, but also like, okay, well, how like we gotta kind of come up with like a system, like a process for this and be able to somewhat know like what kind of time commitment this is gonna be for us. Yeah, so that was just yesterday, so
Oh,
kind of working
nice.
through that.
I wonder too, are the logins different for each site? Because I know like Substack, I think sends like a code, and I know you guys are probably more familiar with like LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's pretty easy, right, for ghostwriters to get into. Is there like difficulties going into different platforms to actually post, or is it pretty straightforward?
I'm,
Um, well, yeah, with LinkedIn, right? um, of course, you can get your clients logins and you could just like you can log into their account. Even that, though, it can become difficult when you're dealing with multiple clients. You'll you'll actually you'll have it where it will often ask your client to insert a code, especially if you're in and out of multiple different accounts, like very frequently.
Hmm.
Then it will probably send it eventually. You might get away with it for a bit, and then like maybe once a month or something, your client's going to get like a message saying, "Can you verify that? Like, can you give this person approval to get into your account?" But when we're just talking about like scheduling applications, like for example, Publer was the one that I used for a while there, and I still use it. Once you're logged into the client's account with that, for the most part, you'll have long stretches of time where you don't have any issues. Just scheduling the content, but yeah, the reason like why even just handling scheduling for clients could probably actually increase your retention, like your client retention time,
Hmm.
because even just that, keeping them on a schedule, like keep making sure that that content actually gets rolled out consistently on time, like something like that can change everything, right? Like if you just left it up to them, like it could be the difference like of months of difference in terms of how long they pay you, them actually being consistent. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you guys think about pricing then, Mike? How do you think about pricing when you're doing the distribution? Then like, what do you suggest? Because I'm curious too. I don't know. Like that's a good question. Like how much more do you add to handle that little part of it? Not little.
Yeah.
It's actually big.
Like just the most simple answer, and we can start with that, is just price it so that there's like, so it still makes sense for you, right? Like yeah, like if you're going to add written posts to that, well, it's not like just because you did a video, just because you did an interview, that the posts just magically write themselves, right? And if you pretend that that's how it works, because you're like, oh well, it'll be pretty easy to like whip up some written posts because we already have the interview call, we're already doing the interview call. And then you price it at say, oh well, let's charge an extra 1,500 for that, and we'll also handle like the scheduling for them. And if they need graphics for like LinkedIn and stuff, we'll handle that for them too. Uh, plus the editing and revisions process for them and all this. Yeah, we can do that for an extra 1,500. Well, what you might find at the end of the day is that it really wasn't worth it to add ghostwriting for them, because maybe you're making an extra $300, $400, $500 profit when everything is said and done there. So
Yeah. That's that's something like I think people don't really figure this out until you, like you said, you do it and then you realize like, oh, I kind of gypped myself here, because it's not just a matter of like, okay, well now I have to factor in more hours for me to do this thing. Yeah, you have to factor in those hours of like, paying yourself for the extra hours that you're going to put into the work, but you want to also profit on top of that. And I think that's where I used to get confused. And I think a lot of people probably do, is they think like, okay, well, if I add this other piece onto my service, I need to make sure I'm charging them enough to pay myself. But it's not just paying yourself if you're doing it, it's also making sure that that offer is still profitable. So you're still
Yeah.
making extra money on top of what you're paying yourself, because you paying yourself and profit are not the same thing. And that's like, I've probably talked to you guys before about how I think everybody should read the book Profit First, because it's like how to handle finances in your business for like a complete newbie. And that was one thing that he like really hit home on, is like, you paying yourself as the business owner is not the same as your business being profitable. Your business should make a profit on top of you paying yourself. So if you have an offer that you're like, well, it's good because I'm able to like pay my guy, I'm able to pay myself, I'm able to put some money aside for taxes. Okay, yeah, that's great, but are you still profiting on top of that? Is there even like 5% left that's a profit that can accumulate every month?
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because even that, like, yeah, that like 5%, right? And probably like I'd be surprised if he didn't say that, but like if he didn't say what I'm gonna say, is that like whether it's 5%, 10%, whatever, that also fuels your business like in the future, right? Like he's probably talking about that as that gives you like sort of like cash funds that you can reinvest into the business so that you actually grow it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like I haven't done this yet for this client, and honestly I probably will, because it's just like a good exercise. So the way he breaks it down is like, every time you get paid, and these percentages will kind of change depending on like what income range your business is at, because like as a business grows, if you start getting into like the millions, then these percentages shift slightly. But what he says, if your business makes, let's say, like under 200K a year, then every time your business makes money, so when you're looking at like your finances at the end of the month, 50% of whatever you made should go into owner's pay. So it should go into paying like you a salary. 30% should go into operating expenses. So that's everything from like paying for softwares, paying for like an editor, like just other operating expenses. 15% goes towards like set that aside for taxes. And then I think it's like 5% is profit. And I think that's it. Yeah. So you want to make sure that every time you're being paid, you're like, hey, I'm setting aside this much to pay myself, this much to cover operating expenses, this much to set aside for taxes, and this much to make sure I'm making a profit. And if you look at the money you're getting and you're not like sorting it that way, like you're not setting aside things into those buckets, that's where people run into like, oh, taxes are due and I don't have money to pay taxes, or like, holy shit, I like have all these expenses and there's not enough in my operating expense account to pay them. Well, that tells you that your business is running in a way where you have way too many operating expenses for the amount of money you're making. So it's been a really cool way for me to like kind of see the like financial health of my business. And that's one of the things that he talks about, like you can use this when you're like making an offer. So if you're like, okay, we're thinking about charging this much, what does that look like, in the buckets wise? So if you have an offer that you're like, well, 70% of this money is going to go towards operating expenses to pay for things like video editors and schedulers and softwares, and there's not going to be anything left for me to like pay myself or profit, I probably need to like rework this offer a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you let's say you because I know that you said that you don't want to like do the writing yourself, right?
I mean, this has been coming up specifically with this because like if and this is like kind of builds on what you said, Mike, like if you take on like, oh yeah, we could totally schedule the posts. Well, it's not just scheduling the post now. You're also now like writing something for each of those posts because you're in charge of everything. It's not just like we have clients right now that we literally do the research, we do the interview, we cut the clips, we give it to them because they have a team that they're like, we have an editor who knows our brand. She likes to write the captions herself because she finds that they perform better. So we just hand them off to her, and that's great for us. But we've run into this problem of like, okay, well, the content's not going up as fast as we want to test it, and we want to be able to move faster than that. But if we take on a client where we control every step of that process, that's now including writing the posts and scheduling them and everything in between.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So if you thought about like what you would have to pay. Okay, so one question. For these videos, like is it predominantly that all you'll really be doing, I use the word all lightly, all you'll be doing is just creating captions for the videos, or will there be standalone text only posts, other posts that are not directly connected to videos?
I think with this guy, he cares primarily about short form video. I don't think he'd be opposed if we like suggested things like carousels and stuff because he's really big on YouTube, and carousels actually perform pretty well on the community tab in YouTube. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. Like that's a whole other thing on top of that.
Okay, you can post a carousel into a LinkedIn community, or no, pardon me, a YouTube community.
Yeah, so in YouTube they have something like when you go to make a post, you can go live, you can upload a video, or you can do create a post. And if you create a post, that can be a video, or that can be a photo, it can be a carousel, or it could just be text, and it just goes to your community so your subscribers will see that. And we have a client that we've been testing this with over the last like 6-ish months. And so there's been some months where his posts get more impressions than his long form videos do.
Interesting.
So, okay. All right. So I think then it's captions for the videos, because it would be an extra thing if you're creating carousels for this YouTube community and stuff. Is this for YouTube, or is it for LinkedIn?
He talked mostly about YouTube, like doing the short form for YouTube and then branching into Instagram. He wants to grow on Instagram.
All right. So is Instagram kind of like an open variable where you don't have like a set number of like of deliverables, like a certain number of videos that you're going to be posting for him per month, sort of thing?
Yeah, he's honestly open to whatever we want to do. Um, he just wants to see the numbers slowly going up, and he honestly doesn't care too much about followers. He's like, I would just like to see that, like, he's like, I don't expect it month one or even month two, but like I would like to see that, the videos start to get more views, they start to get a bit more engagement. um that's like his biggest priority, is that the content is just getting engaged with.
Okay. And yeah, it's mostly short form for YouTube. How many shorts will you do for him per month on YouTube?
I mean, we said that we would start with 30 because right now he posts every day. Like, he posts 2 long forms a week and he wants to post every day. But again, I don't think that he's married to like, we need to post this many times. He just wants to see like views, impressions, engagement slowly going up over time. So if we said like every day, or we said no, it'd be better to do 5 days a week or fucking 2 posts a day, I think he's open to us just taking the reins on it. Like, he really just wants somebody else to just handle it.
And is that 30 coming from his own already clips that he already recorded for the long form and you're cutting them, or is it coming from you interviewing them or him?
It could be both. It could be we do an interview every month or every second month, and then we pull the posts from that interview, as well as cutting from, like I said, he's got a bunch of existing stuff. He does a live Q&A, I think, every week in his community that he said he'd be willing to switch to Riverside, so we have that footage. So it could be a mix of just like his existing content and then doing an interview. He also said he's down to film. Like, he's kind of open to whatever we want to do.
Hodges said that you've seen Riverside's updates. Pretty crazy how much stuff you can get out of a single long form video now. Newsletter, website, and previous posts. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I haven't looked at an update. That's cool.
Yeah, Ahad, I keep getting poked by Riverside to use the new editor, and I keep saying I'll do this later because I've already heard a couple glitches that have come with the new editor. And if anybody, like, I don't know if you guys use Riverside, so this might just mean nothing to you, but for example, there's a couple things that you used to be able to do in Riverside that just don't seem to work anymore with the new editor. Like, if you're looking for, like, say there, in Riverside they give you the whole transcript. Say you're
Mm.
looking for a specific part in the video where you're like, I want to go to the part where he talked about this, and you search for that word. That search function doesn't work anymore. It's glitching out. A couple other things, I won't like nerd out on Riverside, but I've been putting off using the new editor.
I also wonder too, like how much back and forth. Like that's the whole thing that always concerns me too. Like with some of the stuff is like how much back and forth do they need in approval? Because I feel like if it's a chill person and they could just let you cook or whatever, you're fine. But then if you end up with someone that's a pain in the ass, it could really drain your time.
Yeah, and I honestly don't get the vibe at all that this guy would be. Like, I know somebody who works with him, and funny enough, this woman has actually worked with another one of the clients I have, and so she's
Yeah.
often talked to me about both, and she loves working with this guy. She's like, he's so generous, he's so gracious, like he's an awesome client. So I don't think that he would be a micromanagey, like, I want to approve all the posts. He just like, I just want you guys to do it. Like, I just don't want
Sounds like
to
a
think
green
about it.
green light
Yeah.
to me there. Then.
Yeah.
And this guy came from a who? How did you get in touch with him again? It was like a referral or something.
It was a mutual connection. We've kind of ran in the same circles for a while, and I interviewed him on Inspired Idiots.
Okay, that's cool. So that actually is a good data point for that too. Like the inspired idiots could become pipeline,
Yep.
which is kind of cool. Like that could be like the front of it somehow, and then figuring out. I don't know. Did he just naturally ask that, or how did it go from like interview to pipeline?
No, we did the interview, and then, we collabed on YouTube. He was like, "Oh, it's actually like doing pretty well. Like, I've found that the podcast style like doesn't always work that well on YouTube, but like this video is doing okay so far." And then I just told him I was sending him a couple screenshots of like comments that I was getting from people about the interview. And they're like, wow, this is like the best explanation of SEO that I've ever heard. Like, this was actually so
Oh, Zach
helpful.
guy, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
I was sending him that feedback. I was like, hey, like people are really like liking the interview. And then he was just like giving me compliments saying like, yeah, this actually gave me like a few ideas that I should make videos on. And then I just kind of like pitched it in there. I was like, hey, just so you know, like we do this for clients if you ever wanted to do it. And he immediately was like, yeah, I'm super into that. Like, would you guys handle like everything, like the posting and stuff? And then we just scheduled a call.
Oh hell yeah, that's dope.
How long do you think the captions need to be?
I don't know. Like when my partner and I talk about this, my partner is very much of the belief that like captions don't matter. So like he's like super minimal with the captions, but he's also like he's always been a lot more focused on platforms like Instagram and YouTube because obviously on a platform like LinkedIn, the caption is kind of everything.
Now, when we say captions, they could mean like the things, the words coming on the screen, or they could also maybe mean the title. Like, what do you mean? Are you talking about the title? Or are you talking about like the words, like that are like on the screen, like
The
like the transcript?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The captions would be like the words that accompany the post. So not on the video, but like
Oh, like in the body or like the title.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Captions are the sauce. Are you saying you disagree with Ahad, Mike?
No, I hate to say this. I disagree with your husband.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, I think that I think captions are super important. Like I think even for videos, on LinkedIn, 100%. Like there's because I've tried that. I've tried where I've written nothing but a hook and attached it to a video and seen like much worse reach and engagement and stuff versus putting a caption, even maybe something like long that like really explains a concept or something, and seeing much better results. And I like for something like Instagram, I think it also plays a factor because if you think about it too, if someone gets like really invested in the video and then they're like, what is this? And then the caption has a good hook and they're like, let's see what the actual caption says here. And then they also read that too. Like that effect in the algorithm, that sort of dwell time. I think it's just the difference between maybe a post that did well versus one that just like went exponentially viral potentially. You know, obviously so many factors that go into this, but yeah.
I sometimes like it too when they like open a loop maybe in the title and they answer it in the video or vice versa, like stuff like that where you can kind of play around with some of that stuff. And when I was writing some of that stuff too, I would just upload the transcript and then ask for like, give me 10 title ideas. What are some ideas for like the body or whatever? And that was like a good place for me to just start and get going quickly. The transcript, I feel like in the videos is so easy to work with because you have everything there. Then you can kind of just frame your ideas super quick.
I think it probably also does another thing too, where Ahad's dropping like studies in the chat. Crazy.
Caption comprehensive attention to memory of the video.
I think also from like sort of a keyword standpoint and sort of telling the platform and algorithm what your post is about, there's probably also like another benefit there as well, where if the words in the actual caption match what the video is saying, then it just helps the platform deliver it better to people who are interested in that. And Gary Vaynerchuk is talking lately a lot about how social media is not social media anymore. It's more like interest media, which is why we're seeing. But actually, I've noticed it's crazy on Instagram. Like if you like a couple videos in it can be a very specific niche. it can almost be like a certain opinion or something. And you like a couple videos that just kind of have a certain very specific opinion. Next thing you know, you're getting another video that shares a very similar opinion and talking point. I saw that just the other day. So yeah. And I think that the caption probably factors into that. Yeah.
It's interesting because I just bought some like AI stocks the other day, these chip makers like NVIDIA or whatever, and I came across the Diary of the CEO, and it scared the shit out of me, and it worked. They had a title that said most people will lose everything, billionaires are warning, I'm selling, the crash is already here. And it has like 7.5 million views 8 days ago. So I think that a lot of the time stuff too, like, I don't know, like a lot of people try to just make you fucking fearful. And then they like grab you in from the fear and then pull you in. And I'm looking, a lot of his videos actually seem to be like that way. Like it's interesting. Like, let's see if I could find like another one over here that's minute by minute of what happens in a nuclear bomb. I mean, just some of the shit that just like wants to scare the shit out of you. And I literally like Stephen Bartlett. I think he's really great, but you look at it like he's really just fucking with you to get you to like actually click into the video, and then the production kind of gets you to stay around or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting like how people really just use fear.
Someone on LinkedIn wrote a post about this, about
really?
Stephen Bartlett doing that. Like I literally just saw this. Now, interestingly,
yeah.
I think that his post, this guy who wrote this, I forget, I think his name is like Matt something or other, but I felt like his post was also kind of like rage bait too, because he also said like that he really loves the show. Like, I love Diary of CEO. I don't like these like clickbait headlines and stuff. It's like, well, I'm okay, maybe, but if you were really a fan of the show, would you also not like be able to look past the headlines? Yeah, they probably have become more clickbait. Could be multiple reasons for that. One, he's trying to like clickbait you into the video. Two, maybe he's interviewing more people who actually have like more controversial opinions. Three, the world is pretty crazy these days. Like, you know, like all you really need to have a crazy headline is just like literally, I don't know, look out your window or just pay attention to some of the things that are happening. Like when there was like a earthquake in Venezuela last week, there was like a 7.2 or 7.5 on the Richter scale or whatever. Like, and that's just one of like, 100 news events, right? So
Yeah, it's funny because last week I interviewed this guy who built a tool called Superfans. It's like super.fans. And I heard about it because he basically built it in partnership with the guy who runs the YouTube program that I'm in. And now that guy, Daryl Leaves, who runs this YouTube program, is an investor in the Superfans company, because he's like, this is going to be like the next big tool in like YouTube analytics, because it's basically like a massive AI tool for like YouTube audience deep dive analytics. So I'm going to post this video probably next week, but we did a walkthrough and we used Diary of a CEO as like an example on the walkthrough. And one of the things you can look at is like your audience, what it calls like the audience sentiment over time. So it shows you the graph of like the general mood and response of your audience throughout, a certain period of time. So you can see like, oh, is there a video that really took my sentiment down where like people's comments were overwhelmingly negative? And so we were like deep dive analyzing like the trends of Diary of a CEO over time. And there's been like a shift. I think it was like over the last year, especially, of people having like negative comments, specifically calling out like Stephen Bartlett and the show for like being kind of clickbaity, doing a lot of like fear-based content, like picking like really big and like, but specifically like controversial guests. And yeah, it was kind of interesting, like actually seeing that graph of like the mood of responses that the content gets.
Audiences are very, like, the way that they came in is kind of the way that they want to be like treated throughout the entire time of like the relationship. I've seen this personally, right? Because I grew my food blog back in the day, right? Just posting food, reviewing food in Toronto, all that kind of thing. And then during COVID, I started talking about some of the stuff that was going on, like in the news and stuff, right? With some more controversial opinions and stuff. And a lot of people were really not into it. I lost probably 5,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
From 33,000, right? And my engagement and reach and all that has never really been the same. So yeah, you get punished pretty hard. Yeah, the way that they come in is the way that they want you to, like, they want to see the same type of content, really. Like maybe you can evolve over time, right? But yeah, I mean, like it goes to show, like even with someone like Stephen Bartlett, who's like very respected overall, but he tries to go in even just a slightly in a maybe even a catastrophically different direction with these like more clickbaity headlines or different types of guests, and some people are just not down for it. There's probably some other people who are discovering Stephen Bartlett now and being like, oh, I actually like this guy more now because he's talking about some of these more pressing type topics. So yeah, some people would actually maybe like what he's doing more now.
Well, I think there's also kind of, at least I'm noticing, there's like this slow rejection of like fear-based social media content because it does work, like you guys were saying and Ahad was saying. I think like inducing fear in people gets them to watch and respond. Inducing like FOMO in people can get them to watch and respond. Like it makes people feel something. But I think there's more awareness now about like how social media affects our health and how we're always being like bombarded with just like bad and dramatic news from everywhere. And I think I've seen it personally in my feed, but I also see it in like the kind of content that I've started to notice is like really popping off on platforms like YouTube. Is like there's a lot of people that are starting to gravitate towards like very like holistic, feel good, like happy content. Like if you ever go on YouTube, there's channels of like there's this guy who just his whole channel is just like cooking from scratch, and it's just him like baking stuff and like cooking food from scratch, and it's very like calming, and he's speaking very quietly, and he's in his like little idyllic cottage and stuff, and his videos get mad views. And when you look at the comments, it's people just saying things like exactly that. They're like, I love how this just like makes me feel calm. And like there's a huge, I remember in that YouTube program, um the guy was talking about how if you start a channel around like gardening or like homesteading or any of that kind of like holistic stuff, he's like, there's a massive market for that because it's feel good content. Like people actually feel good when they watch it. They'll watch content like that before they go to bed. Compare that to like most other kinds of social media content. People are like, I don't want to watch this before I go to bed. It like gives me anxiety. So I think there's huge merit in that if you can make content that people like feel good when they're watching and they feel like calmer when they walk away. You're probably not going to get a lot of criticism from people being like, oh, this is like rage bait or it's fear based content or it's clickbait or whatever. So I think there's something to that, like making content. I think the fear angle is an angle and it does work. But I think if you can make content that makes people feel good and makes them feel like calm and happy to watch it, I think it's smarter almost, because I think the fear-based stuff, we're going to get to a point where, and I think we're starting to get there, where people are like, I'm fucking maxed out on this fear-based content, on like just knowing all the shit that's going on in the world and the next thing that I should be like concerned about.
Yeah. 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 I really, I'm very careful these days with what I do consume because like on Instagram, for example, I am following like multiple accounts where they do post very controversial stuff. They expose a lot of stuff, right? They'll some of it is some of them, they're even exposing like, violent crime that's happening like around the world and stuff like this. If I'm going to watch one of those videos, I know it's going to, depending on the day and depending on the video, like that might mess up my whole day. That might get in my head. I see that. And it's like that.
Yeah.
You're going to get pretty bad, kind of like almost depressed mood after seeing, violence or like anything related to like war. So you do have to be very careful what you consume. I do wonder though if there truly is a decline in like fear-based hooks, but I could see a lot of people are probably getting pretty sick of it.
I don't watch the news anymore for that reason. I mean, I literally, because the news itself, it's just like someone who got shot or a fight. I actually hate the fact that sometimes these fights pop up on my Instagram, and like I sometimes like watch one and then I'm like, fuck, I just watched that. Now another one will go, and I'm like, I don't even want to fucking see this. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't like fighting. I don't like, I think it's fucking weird. I mean, I get it if you have to fight for whatever reason to protect yourself or whatever, but it's just one of those weird things where it just catches your attention and then they feed you more of it. And like, that can't be good for fucking society when you're showing people all these fucking fights and shit. Like, people are gonna get all aggro. So I don't know. I feel like if you look at too much news, like you'll end up just your whole like worldview will get all fucked up because you're like, the world's a fucked up place. And like, I could see it getting real dark real fast.
Yeah, I would actually be interested. I would challenge people to like go find one multimillionaire or billionaire who watches the news, because I feel like it probably doesn't exist. And I had a bit of a different perspective because I worked in news, and I've probably said this to you guys before, a really common phrase in the news world is if it bleeds, it leads. So like they're always incentivized to start with the stories that are going to make people feel things like fear and worry and anxiety. So like they'll always lead with stories of like there was this school shooting or this person died or there's this outbreak or like there's this thing that you need to worry about, because they know that if they show that on the preview, people will wait around to hear that story, and they'll be more invested, way more than they are about like the good stories of like, this person just cured cancer in this animal or whatever. Like they're always incentivized to lead with the frightening news, because I mean, there's different conspiracies on this, and it depends how far we want to go down this rabbit hole. But like, if you look at who controls the news, I mean, who controls the news? It's usually the government. Why would the government be incentivized to keep people in a state of fear?
And even if it's actually not like directly the government, like some actually are like, government funded, whatever. But like, even if it's a, private corporation, they're still like, they're partnered with the government, right? Like the two are way too connected these days.
Yeah. Well, you look at Elon Musk and X. I mean, Elon owns X, right? And he got involved with American politics to the highest level. So like, I mean, when you have that kind of money, I think that's just how it goes. Then Trump owns Truth Social. LinkedIn's owned by Microsoft. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty concentrated, some of these, in Zuckerberg Meta platform. So
did you see my Elon Musk reached out to me for ghostwriting services post?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
What? I didn't see that.
Do you know how many? You know what kind of numbers that did? Okay, the craziest number in the analytics on that post is the profile views. Okay, I've never seen so many profile views from one single post. I think it was 1,300 profile views. Okay, now why do you think the profile views were so high on that?
I think that was really clever the way you framed it, because Elon, I think, hates LinkedIn for good reason, and it's like Twitter is like the Wild West. So I think it's just like that like juxtaposition between the two probably made people like just.
That's partially why I did it, because I know the large majority of people on LinkedIn who hate Elon Musk, because that's one thing. Obviously, just Elon Musk, DMing me about my ghostwriting service is kind of pretty funny. And also, what I said, like, hey, Mike, interested in your ghostwriting services. Want to build my brand on LinkedIn, right? And in the caption, I said, got an interesting DM today. And then I talked about how just a few months ago he was talking about how LinkedIn is cringe or whatever, and now he wants to come over. I guess people change or something, right? And then like at the very end, this is satire because and the reason why I put this satire is because you could get in trouble for that, like that's, I don't know if it'd fall into like defamation of someone's brand or something like this, but like
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't put this. Then it could be like you're making false claims. Yeah, false statement. Yeah, false claim that Elon Musk is DMing you about ghostwriting.
He probably
Wait, so did you say you made this image with AI, or what is this image?
Oh yeah, I made it with AI. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my favorite thing too is in the comments, people being like, "This is AI." It's like, yeah, no shit.
No shit. Captain Obvious.
I also said this is satire in the caption too, right? Yeah, LinkedIn is funny.
Yeah, you're coming up with some good angles for like humor and satire. I need to get more into that too, because I think that's the only thing that's safe, or not safe, like the saving grace from all the boring shit. Like it just makes it more fun.
Yeah, your content lately, Mike, has been spot on.
Yeah, there's something I've definitely cracked some sort of code, and a lot of it, honestly, is just not being afraid to ruffle some feathers. Honestly, like just like you have to stick to stuff that you do like kind of believe in, right? Now, if it's complete satire, yeah, you can just have a funny angle and stuff, but like you should never sacrifice what you actually believe in. If I'm going to like write some post about AI, I should never like fake what my actual opinion is, or, and I also you shouldn't try and, if that Elon post was really not who I am as a person, then I probably shouldn't run with it. But that is kind of my sense of humor. So I can get away with it because I'll actually like, I'll back it, and I'll actually like, stick up for myself. And I can, if somebody wants to criticize my post or whatever, it's okay. Like I'll also stand by it too, and tell them, I have no problem telling them why I posted this.
I saw another one you did too. That said something about like you had like 250,000, I think, views. I think over the week was that. I thought I saw that like on one of your posts. I thought you posted something. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. In a 7-day period, I had 450,000 impressions.
Oh shit!
And what I was going to say about this is, no, it's like my best week ever on LinkedIn. So
that's wild.
The thing is, like, if this didn't generate inbound leads and calls, then I wouldn't look at it the same way. And like a really common opinion on LinkedIn is that like you don't need to go viral to book calls and get clients and stuff like that. And the truth is, like, yeah, you don't. But I think that now on LinkedIn, there's kind of like two strategies. It's like, and I actually heard somebody else talk about this, pretty smart guy, and he actually, I think, was the first person I've ever heard define this so clearly. And I agree with him. It's that there's kind of two main strategies. One is you do more like middle and bottom of funnel content. Like you basically treat LinkedIn the same way you would have in 2025. And you write a lot of like authority type content, case studies, educational stuff, like lead magnet type stuff, like very, just straight like business related content, right? And you mostly just keep it like that. Very professional, very by the book. And then what you will probably have to do now with the new algorithm, because nobody's like, those posts are going to get buried more than they would back in like 2025, 2024, etc. So you're going to have to go pretty hard on the DMs. Okay, so with your like warm engagement and stuff, probably also cold as well, but especially like warm, because this is going to be like way more well received. So yeah, you'll go way harder on the DMs and the follow up and all that, and you'll use maybe your authority type content as well. Even use it like send it to a potential prospect. Hey, you know how we were talking about this? You might find value from this post. Like even using your own content in that way, right? As like forms of like value driven follow up and stuff like this. So you can go that approach or the other approach, and I actually think I like this second one more because I'm not a big fan of the DMs.
Can't blame you. It's a pain in the ass.
Just go viral. Go viral. Make sure though that this is the important part. You have to optimize your profile as best you can. Because what you're going to do is you're going to drive a shit ton of traffic, and in the hopes that the CEOs and founders that you actually want to see your posts and your profile, right, especially your profile, that they're going to actually see one of your viral posts and either go right to book an appointment at the top of your post, which I don't know, would they be so sold after just seeing one post? Maybe. I'm sure it's happened. I know it's happened actually, but really, ideally, you want them to click through to your actual post, look at your profile. So they start by they look at your banner, they look at your bio, they look at your about section, featured section. So you want to like optimize all of these. So they're just kind of getting hit in the right way with the right information that they're like, yeah, I'm going to book a call with this guy. So I've actually getting not even just inbound leads, but like inbound calls. Just I'll periodically check, and I'll see another Calendly notification in my email of somebody who's booked a call. And it's just because my reach is through the roof right now. Right. So yeah. I much prefer it. I don't spend any time in the DM begging to work with people.
I'd rather do that too. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's like the ideal as a content creator. If your content can just like do the selling for you, and then you don't need to be like actively out there prospecting. I mean, that's like the goal, is that your content just like casts the net, and then people just come into it.
100%.
Yeah. I much prefer it. It's such a different conversation when somebody came to you as well. Yeah.
More leverage.
Yes, I think you keep it up. Have to be careful though. Have to be careful because it is like I had one post this week that I think kind of crossed the line a little bit. People really misconstrued my words. Sometimes I wonder if it's intentional misinterpretation. But it's some people were. It's kind of like I see their comments. I'm like, you're using words in your comment here that like to describe my post, and it's like I didn't even use these words in my post. I said that to one person. He was like, you're trying to imply that somebody without the same experience like could never like have anything valuable to say, or like no trust, and can't be trusted to deliver on something. And like my post didn't use any of those words. I actually said that to him. I'm like, I don't think I said any of that.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Like you were making a point to say something like, don't take advice from like someone that has like 500 followers about like how to grow a brand to like 100,000, or if like you're overweight or something, giving like tips like on like weight loss or something. It was something along those lines, right? Like something that's like, if you don't look to people that haven't mastered something to to learn from, I think was kind of the message. I remember seeing, if that's the one you're talking about, then someone I saw in the comments, I think it was Chase Diamond maybe, that was like, oh, I pushed back on this because of this, and that, or whatever. And like, yeah, it's interesting though too, because like I feel like that those types of days too. I feel like when you're having to not defend, but like just talk about like what you meant or whatever, or just engage with that. It is kind of draining on me. Those types of things. I don't know. Everyone interprets things like differently though, so I don't know. I don't.
There's
think
a big nuance.
Yeah.
There's a big nuance to that post, right? Like, see, the unspoken thing that I didn't actually mention in the post, which is why it could be so misconstrued, is I'm talking about also the people who show up in your comment section with like negative critiques and stuff, like whether it's of your actual post. Sometimes it could be like whatever it might be, but you look and you're like, who is this person to give me this advice, right? When it's like in a very specific domain. This is the important part. I didn't use these exact words, and this is why it could be taken so out of context, right? I left a lot unsaid in a very specific domain. So like, here's an example, right? Let's say somebody came up to Michael Jordan, all right? And the person who came up to Michael Jordan is like an armchair basketball fan who, watches every basketball game. But he comes up to Michael Jordan and he's like, hey man, listen, you should really work on your jump shot fadeaway there, bro. Back in the day, you used to like, it used to be another foot back when you'd actually release the ball. Like, what are you doing, man? It's like, and so that's what I was really kind of talking about, but I didn't really fully explain myself. And that's another thing too. Like the more that you if you leave some nuance off the table and leave things a little bit more open for interpretation, you're creating a potential war zone in your comment section, which can be a good thing.
Yeah, I think you can kind of do that intentionally sometimes. Like if you intentionally leave a little bit of ambiguity for people to interpret it in their own way, that you're like engagement baiting people a little bit, which can be useful. But I agree with the point that you made in that post, and I've had this conversation before about like coaches specifically. This was something that I was really interested in when I was like interviewing a lot of coaches. And I mean like there's coaches all over social media today. Like if you scroll through LinkedIn, every second person is like some kind of coach. And I've had this conversation with a few people on like hiring a coach who hasn't actually done the thing you're trying to do. And I've heard people make arguments both ways. And somebody made the argument once that I thought was like a valid point. She said, well, a coach isn't the same thing as a mentor necessarily. Like if you're hiring a mentor, you're typically hiring them because you're like, hey, you've achieved this result. I want that result. I'm willing to pay you to help me get the same result you got. A coach, at least according to her, is somebody that is just really good at helping other people achieve a result, regardless of if they have achieved it or not. And the example that she used was the F1 driver, Lewis Hamilton, has apparently notoriously worked with the same coach for like years now. He's won, I don't know how many F1 titles, and he credits a lot of his success to the work he's done with his coach. His coach has never won an F1 title, but she's helped him win a bunch of F1 titles. And the argument there was like, she hasn't done the thing herself, but she's really good at helping people in this area get better at that sport. So
Interesting.
I was like, that's an interesting point. And like, I can't argue with that. I just know that like for me personally, if I'm looking at like investing my time and money with a coach and I know that they haven't done the thing that I'm trying to do, like they haven't built a business, bigger than how big I've built mine, or they haven't achieved the result that like I'm essentially investing in them to help me achieve. I personally I don't think I would move forward with that coach. And maybe that's a me thing, but I feel value in working with people who I feel in some way are like ahead of me. Like I want to
Hmm.
be mentored by people who I feel like have figured out things that I haven't figured out yet and can help me figure that out. And I mean, that's not like a hard and fast rule because I think that's kind of relative. Like it's not like like there's so many different areas of life, but like if I'm going to invest in a coach or a mentor, I'm probably going to pick somebody who I know has achieved the thing that I am actively trying to achieve.
Yeah,
You know
me
what's
too.
funny is that ChatGPT actually gave the same definition, which, you know, I was wondering if that person who told you that, whether that was just her kind of like inventing her own terms for coach and mentor, like maybe just conveniently. But yeah, no, that's apparently that's what it is. A mentor has actually done the thing
Yeah.
where the coach, yeah, might just be really good at getting somebody results. And it's true. Like, yeah, you do see that even oddly enough, you do see that in sports, right? Now, at the same time, too, you like in say, I'm thinking like basketball, for example. Some of the best basketball coaches actually were guys who were like players back in the day. In fact, I think majority are people who were NBA players. I can't really think of any examples of ones who weren't NBA players, but maybe. But I don't know everything about NBA basketball. That's for sure. Yeah.
Reminds me of Rick Rubin too. Like apparently he produced like the Chili Peppers, but he doesn't know how to play music. So that's another like how does that happen? That's become, I guess you're just more of like a tastemaker, right? Like you're able to like have a vision and like you don't necessarily need to know how to play the instrument, but maybe you know how it all sounds good together.
Rick Rubin is probably the best example ever for what we're talking about. Like, have you seen that video of him where he's like, there's an interviewer asking him questions and he's like, I have no skills. I, I have no skills. I have no formal training. So what do you do or whatever? He's like, I'm my taste or something like this is where is what was why they pay me or whatever. His like explanation is so funny, but probably very true for him. Yeah, no
You know what's
formal.
awesome about that position too is you don't have to defend it, right? If he was like, "Oh, like I'm the best in the world at this and that," like you'd have to like defend that position. But because he's like, "Oh, like I have no fucking skills," and he's rich and like famous or whatever, like he's in a much better position just to do his thing.
Yeah, yeah, him owning it and just being like, no, no, like the reason why I'm in demand in this is just because like my taste, my ear is just like I don't know, dialed in or whatever.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess like it's not always, it doesn't always need to be specific to like what has that coach achieved themselves like in their own business or experience. It could be like what have they helped other people achieve, because I'm thinking about it now and like if I was considering hiring a coach because I want to take my business from 6 figures to 7 figures, let's say maybe that coach, their own business is at 6 figures or multi 6 figures or whatever, but they have a proven track record of like, I've helped, 55 people take their business from 6 figures to 7 figures. That would mean more to me, like, because and I remember somebody making this argument too, that like the person you're working with might not necessarily have the same goal that you do. They might be at multi 6 figures with their business and like they're really happy with where their lives at, but they know that they're very good and they have the skills and the knowledge to help other people achieve that goal. So I think if they have the proof, maybe not necessarily in themselves, but they have the proof of I've helped other people achieve exactly what you're trying to achieve,
That's fair.
that could also entice me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about it like that way.
Interesting. Well, that seems like a good note to end it on. You
Yeah,
guys good to wrap
yeah,
up?
sounds good. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks everyone for joining and all the
Awesome.
comments.
See
All
you
right,
guys.
guys. Thanks. Have a
All right,
good
later.
weekend.
All right, bye.